Gotcha.
God be with you, sir.
Bertha, instead of devils, I need your help now with Nickvard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Well, I'm waiting for Lord Libac to stop by. I brewed him another phial of medicine, but I don't even know if the last one helped. I told him to stop by for another one soon. I reckon he must be feeling better.
Nickvard needed medicine? For what?
I can't say. I promised Lord Libac his secret is safe with me, as well as his phial of medicine.
Oh, come now. Nickvard misplaced an important book somewhere. A sort of alchemist cookbook. I need to find it.
I remember the recipes by heart. And Lord Libac's secret is certainly worth more than any book.
Listen, Bertha. Do you realize your stubbornness is making everything more difficult? Nickvard borrows a mysterious book, suddenly he stops talking to the scribe, and falls ill. And when the only person who wants to get to the bottom of it comes to you, you keep mum. You don't want to have Nickvard on your conscience, do you?
I suppose you're right. I reckon Lord Libac would forgive me if he knew I was only trying to help him, right?
I'm sure he would.
Well, it's a common potion for a bellyache. Just better tasting. It helps your meals go down easier and come out slower the other end. In that regard, Lord Libac had, well, how to say it? Everything came out much too quickly.
Just say it. He shot himself.
It was in the privy down below the Crone, by the training ground below the guardhouse. I helped him clean his hose and made him the medicine, and I promised that I wouldn't say anything. Lord Libac is quite particular about the impression he makes on the young maids, you know. He didn't want this little episode to put them off. That's why he didn't use the privy near the maids' quarters, though it's closer to his chamber, but to the arena instead, and only when there weren't any soldiers around. But this time, it caught up with him.
Is that all?
What else is there to say? That the entire time he looked as if he'd done the worst thing in the world. It happens to the best of us. And I told him as much then. I'm just surprised he never came back for another phial. I must say, he did look as if the fate of the entire castle was suddenly on his shoulders.
I don't know if this is going to do me any good.
Well, you could have found a worse clue.
Thanks anyway.
Good day to you.
I'm looking for Nickvard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Hey, Nick. I mean, Lord Libak. I almost forgot about him. I suppose his task wasn't so pressing, hmm?
What do you mean, forgot?
Nick Libak, that is, entrusted me with a big task quite a while back. He's a castle lord. Obviously, I had to obey him. But then I heard what another castle lord was planning, von Berghoff, and I had to obey him even more. He says there's a war on. So here I am, ready to go off to battle.
I need to know more about what Nickvard asked you to do.
No. There are new rules now. You have to prove you're not a spy.
What are you blathering about?
Von Berghoff said there's a war on, right now. I told him, watch out for spies, Sir Otto. But fear not, I know how to sniff them out. You're a spy yourself, ain't you?
I am.
Right. You're yanking my pizzle. But if you're lying and I report you anyway, just in case, don't imagine I'll get in trouble over it. That's why you have to be vetted, to see if you're really on our side. The side that Nickvard's on, just so you know. We're all friends here. You can join us.
I'd like to.
Hold your horses. First a test.
Tell me what you want from me, then.
A sword.
Sword? What sword?
A long and very good one to help me deal with other spies. If you bring it to me, I'll know you're not an enemy spy who should fear me. Forge one, buy one, or even steal one for me. Maybe from one of the guards at the training ground or down by the gate. During the day, they're not in the towers anyway.
Steal a sword? That sounds like something a spy would do.
Not a spy who wants to help von Berghoff's most loyal servant. By servant, I mean me. See, once I get a sword, I'll fill you in on Nickvard's task.
Listen, Hirsch.
Don't try any word games on me. Persuasion, threats, I know about them spy tricks. Deeds talk louder than words. For example, like bringing me a sword.
I'll think of a way to...
You're not gonna plough on Sunday, are you?
No, and nor should you.
Except I don't have a bullet. What are you whistling for?
About Nickvar.
Got that sword yet, spy?
You wanted a sword? So look at what I got for you.
That's perfect. Lovely. I don't think you're a spy. Can't say for sure, but you seem all right.
What about Nickvar then?
Nickvar asked me to do something for him. He must have admired my devotion to Lord von Berghoff. Either way, Nick looked troubled and not very healthy. He wanted me to fetch him something he lost outside the castle, and I told him I would. At least I could check to see if anyone was sneaking around about the castle. But then Nickvar clutched his belly and ran off. So I never found out what he wanted, or from where.
That's all.
Aye. If you run into Nickvar, ask him if he still needs it or whether he found it himself. I'll be going into war soon, so I don't have time for these things, see?
I'll tell him.
Looking for something in there? Thief?
You're always welcome here, noble sir.
Guards! Guards!
Bear
A
it in
thief!
mind, but I'm not
Catch
going
him!
anywhere with you. What would I be looking for there It was you! Surrender! No!
Easy now. I surrender.
You're a pickpocket!
How dare you accuse me like that? Like some ordinary peasant. Do you have any idea who I am?
Oh, I apologize, my lord. I must have made a mistake. Let's just forget about this.
I hope his hands rot and fall off the fucking thief.
Any idea what that was? I'll go there.
Careful!
Welcome, sir. What can I do for you?
Do you know where I can find Nickvar? The scribe said you might know.
Erazim is suddenly interested in Nickvard and me. You don't say. But when I need him to read something for me, he never has the time. I'm sorry.
I was asking about Nickvar.
Aye, I heard you. Say, can you read?
I can.
In that case, would you mind reading this message I have from Nickvard?
Show me. Dear Mistress of the Chambers. What is it?
Oh, what I wouldn't give to get messages from someone else. Say, Lord Capon. Never mind. Read on. Though I reckon it interests you more than me.
Persevere. We shall soon escape the dungeon of those two women. Cursed fate, however, has placed an obstacle in my way. The heat of the Lightbringer's potion is working, and I can feel my insides being reborn. But when the last remnants of old age left my body, something else was washed away with them.
How much longer is it?
Not much. My damn clumsiness has sent all of the Lightbringer's secrets into the void, but fear not, I shall get them back. May this be the first task on the road to your liberation. That's it.
Beautiful.
That was complete nonsense. I was embarrassed to read it.
Imagine how I felt having to listen to it.
But what does it mean? Can you explain any of it to me?
Lord Liebeck has taken a liking to me. I suggested to him it wasn't proper for a noble to have an affair with a maid. But he thought I meant he was too old for me. But then he found what he calls the Lightbringer's Potion Book. He said it would light a flame in him that would burn out all that's old. So I suppose it worked. Hooray!
I know the book he's talking about, but what does he mean, into the void?
Look, can we stop talking about this? I feel a little uncomfortable here talking about some old lovelorn nobleman.
I understand. Just one more thing, please. When was the last time you saw Nick Vard? And where?
The last time was in the Knight's Hall, but that was a long time ago. I found that message a few days ago. Hard to say where he's off to.
Thanks anyway.
Right. Ah, so you're doing that. All right, then.
Not this again.
My respects. You have a kind master, eh, doggy?
Get out of here! You shouldn't be hanging around here, friend. You're not allowed here! Go away! You can't be here! me! Leave here now! Go away, now! I must be mad.
Another senseless death.
I suppose it was nothing. You don't have anything. You're not allowed here. That's it. And next time, don't go creeping around where you don't belong. Go sniff somewhere else. You bet. Get out of here, mutt! There. Now keep him at your side. It's starting to stink. Careful.
What then? As the water fighting. Excuse me?
Easy. Easy. Nice and slow. Go! Whoa!
My respects.
I'm a servant of Lord Capon. Who do you serve?
I'm the bailiff of the town of Turnov. And your lord... Ich hatte bereits das Vergnügen mit ihm. Ich bin froh, they did not hang him. That would have been an awful shame. Though mainly for him and all his family.
It was a mistake worthy of punishment.
As a bailiff, I know very well how to handle poachers. Aber ja, du hast recht. In the case of the Lord of Leipa, the law is on his side.
Really?
Aber ja, as nobility, he should have only paid a heavy fine for hunting animals in another lord's estate. Er würde nicht be hanged like a common thief.
Why did you come to Trotsky?
As a bailiff, I have Lehndienst meines Herrn.
What was that?
Leibeigenschaft. Ich bin ein Vasall von Herrn Otto von Bergo.
So he summoned you to his castle?
Me and 20 men of our town militia. It seems there is some vermin running rampant on the estate. And it is high time someone wrung their necks.
Auf Wiedersehen, Mann.
Go! Quick! God! Go! Quick! Oh, boy! You must be Nick Vard, eh? Poor wretch.
Ugh, it's starting to stink.
What are you trying to pull, you scoundrel?
Another senseless death. It has to...
What are you sneaking around here for, you crook?
Ugh, it's starting to stink. Another senseless death. It has to be me standing over the body. What a fucking day.
Truck!
My respects.
Ugh, it's starting to stink.
How many more times am I gonna have to poke around in corpses and shit for that damn
Another
cradle?
senseless death. It has to be me standing over the body. What a fucking day.
Ugh, it's starting to stink. Another senseless death.
Silly doggy.
Huh? Huh?
My name is Henry. Where are you travelling from, peddler?
I wouldn't call it travelling. More like fucking fleeing. Barely made it with the shirts on our backs. Oh, by the by, folks call me Mikula.
That sounds like a Hungarian raid. Was it?
How do I know who the fuck it was? One morning I see smoke billowing from the village over the hill. I wasn't going to hang around, so I grabbed Grandad, my wife and daughter, and we took off.
What about your lord? Didn't his people help you?
Our gracious lord has been in captivity somewhere in Saxony for over a year now. And who knows? Maybe it's his envious relatives involved in that nasty business. Yeah, they just don't give a shit about ordinary folk.
What do you do for a living, Mikula?
I'm a hard-working craftsman. I make candles and the best soap in the land.
The best soap?
Indeed. Do you know why, lad? Because I have a family recipe. 100 years old it is. The secret is 7 herbs from all the seasons of the year.
Are you yanking my pizzle? Who ever heard of herbs in winter?
And that, my friend, is precisely the secret. And with wares such as those, I can ply my trade anywhere. Ha ha!
If you have anything for sale, Mikula, I'd be happy to take a look.
That's what I like to hear. Take your pick. I'm glad you found what you were looking for, sir. I'm sorry.
What is it? Are you whistling just for fun?
Careful.
Go! Whoa! I can't swim.
You're not allowed here. That's it. Come on now, you've no business here. Out. Greetings. How can I help?
Caspar is with the Lord now.
That's the last flea out of the mattress. Good job, Henry. What about the ring? Have you got it?
I've got it here.
Aye, that's the one. Nice and shiny. It matches my eyes, don't you think?
Do you think I could have it?
I don't know. I was going to keep it for myself, since the bastard left a scar on me with it. But all right. You rid the world of that bastard, so I suppose you deserve it.
Thanks, Guild. If Caspar was the last of your band, then we've got them all.
Indeed. The local lords can rest easy once again.
And what about you?
Aye. Me too, for that matter. If you hadn't taken care of them, it'd just be a matter of time before they came to take me out. I'm nothing but a bloody turncoat to them now. And the punishment for that is harsh. On both sides. So thanks, Henry.
What's next for you?
Now? Serving Lord Sameen. Now that I've put my past to rest, hopefully he'll be able to trust me.
That'll be quite the change, no?
Yeah, it sure will. I just wonder if I'm not too old. If it's not too late for me already. I don't know if I can get used to it, but I reckon we'll see.
I appreciate your thanks, but I'd say I deserve a reward for this as well.
Don't worry. Lord Sameen gave me something to give you after you'd finished. Here you go.
Now that's more like it. Well, I suppose this is goodbye.
Come and see me anytime. You're good, Henry, I'll give you that. But there are still things I can teach you.
I'd like to learn something.
What do you want to know?
I'm interested in sword fighting.
All right then, but it'll take a while.
Oh, you poop.
Christ, pardon me.
I have the book for you.
Well, I must admit, I haven't had an apprentice this handy in a long time. Zinnik has nothing on you.
I had a peek inside. The pictures are nice, but what do you want to learn from them?
You'll find out soon enough. Show me that miraculous thing. This really is something. But why is it all covered in shit, for fuck's sake?
What, the essence of life from the skies didn't bother you, and now you're squeamish?
Oh, refining saltpeter. Boil wine and alum. Grind. Ah, of course, it makes sense. I'll study the rest on the way. Well, the last chapter of our story of knowledge awaits us. The grand finale.
So what now? Do you have another job for me?
Charcoal. Sulfur from Hermes Trismegistos. Saltpeter from the carcass pit. As long as Black Bertolt didn't make any mistakes in his calculations, we have everything.
What Bertolt? Oh, God damn it, Crazer, what's going on here? I'm tired of flying back and forth like a rag on a stick. I won't be led around by the nose. Will you finally tell me what's going on?
Believe it or not, all this secrecy had its reasons. But now I don't have to hide anything from you. It's time. We'll meet with the others in the lair, and there you'll learn the whole truth. You go ahead. I'm going to get a few things ready here.
All right, then. I hope you keep your word this time. I've travelled half the region on account of your saltpeter, so I think it's time you told me something about yourself.
I think by now you know who I am, and what my place in the world is. This is where I stand, and over there is my mill. I'm just an ordinary miller, with an extraordinary interest in the way the world runs.
Well, at least tell me why you've settled in Lower Semine, of all places.
Isn't it obvious? It's the arse end of the world. It's peaceful here. At least it was until you came around and started asking questions.
What should I wear to be inconspicuous?
Something dark and drab would be best. It won't exactly command respect, but at least people won't pay you much attention. Just don't go wearing fancy clothes around tramps. You have to be like a ghost that nobody knows about. And a ghost shouldn't get their hands dirty, or bloody for that.
I've been known to be a bit noisy. How do I stay quiet?
Only a fool goes robbing in full armor. Better to take off your chainmail before you and tread lightly. Not only will you not make a racket, but you just might hear the fella in the other room get up to take a piss.
A weapon in hand won't do me much good, but I feel more confident with it.
Seems like everyone does nowadays. But if you're not looking to draw attention, a dagger in your belt will do just fine. All you need in your hand is a lockpick and a bag for valuables. Well, it's best to keep your hands free. If you get caught where you're not supposed to, neither a dagger nor a lockpick in hand will look too good.
How should I handle light properly?
Most guards and people you meet at night are either blind or drunk. The night is your friend. Stick to where the light doesn't shine. Dark clothing help out as well. And only a complete idiot doesn't put away their torch while robbing. And if you know how, brew yourself a Nighthawk. It tastes like piss, but it'll help you see better and keep you from being seen.
That's all. What's new around here?
Nothing much, lad. At least I haven't heard about anything.
What do you have?
What is it? Wish to just fun?
Quick! God! Whoa! What'll happen now?
Our last supper, with only one but very filling course, awaits us.
Crazel, please. For once, just once, tell me what's actually going on.
And rob myself of enjoying your blissful ignorance? Not a chance. Tell me yourself, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, to tell the truth, I'm not expecting anything good. We're in a remote place. One of me, 3 of you. You've got no use for me anymore. So you'll try to get rid of me like an inconvenient witness.
That'd be too easy. It'd be more torture to listen to another of Crazel's lectures.
Well, maybe I do talk about my interests a bit too much. But today will be different. Bonnie will start today. At least I'll finally see if she understood my teachings. Bonnie?
First of all, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the whole gang for all the work you've done. We could never have finished the job without you. We found 2 new partners, you and Monarch here. It's good to have someone to rely on. So, it's time we started being honest with you, so you can finally learn the whole truth.
Not yet. Let's pull up that uppity bastard's leg a bit longer. That's the fun part.
One more word, Zinek, and you'll get one on the nose.
Calm down, friend. I'm just kidding. Tell him then, Bonnie.
This whole time, you've been collecting ingredients and clues for us. But, so you wouldn't go nosing around, we always told you it was for something different than it actually was.
The miller here calls it tackets.
Tactics, you idiot. And everything worked out according to plan. So today we're finally close to our great success. With the help of Hermes Trismegistos and his successors, we'll finally complete the dream of all alchemists. Our magnum opus.
Exactly, Bonnie.
Magnum opus. A great work of alchemy. You're trying to make the Philosopher's Stone.
I see you've learned something after all. But no, the Philosopher's Stone isn't our goal.
Let's see then, Henry. What is it you think we're making here?
You're trying to find a cure for death? An elixir of immortality?
Well, Henry's not too far from the truth after all, don't you think? Immortality is the goal of every scholar, at least the spiritual kind. Let's start at the beginning. My father was a miller as well, but I was never much interested in the trade. Even as a young boy, I loved running around Lower Samine and investigating everything living and dead. And I had a lot of questions about everything. Then my mother, God rest her soul, decided it'd be best for me to go to study in Prague. As soon as I grew up and gained a bit of sense, I packed my bags and left.
So you went to a university in Prague? The son of a miller?
Why not? My father worked his arse off, and he had the coin for it, miller or not. I met a lot of remarkable people at the university, and my thirst for knowledge kept growing. But in the end, it only took a year of all that pretentious, scholarly blathering and hypocritical nonsense for me to realize I wouldn't learn anything proper there. Most of the students and masters are just a bunch of dogmatic fools. They have their own truth, and those who want to know more or ask the wrong questions fall into disfavor, as was my case.
So they kicked you out?
I didn't give them the pleasure. I left myself. The most important science is not subject to any religious dogma. And, of course, it's not taught at any university.
You mean alchemy?
Exactly. The art of combination and dissolution. The key to understanding the very nature of the world. There's only one queen of science. Alchemy. I returned to the mill in Lower Samine and started a new life.
What did your parents say when you returned from your studies?
My mother had already passed away. All my father said was, "I knew you'd be back." And he sent me to haul sacks of flour. I think in the end he was glad to have someone to take over the mill from him. From then on, alchemy became my true passion. I brought a few important books from Prague. I started with the most difficult thing. I tried to create gold.
That was pretty daring of you.
As you might expect, it didn't work. But after a few tries, I managed to create something entirely different. Once I tried mixing sulfur, charcoal, and saltpeter. I had a candle burning next to me. A gust of wind scattered the mixture, and all of a sudden, bang! I almost shit myself, I tell you. But then I realized I'd unwittingly created a miracle. Explosive black powder.
What is it? So it burns?
More than that, it makes a big bang.
A very big bang. But don't worry, we're all in on it now.
I couldn't continue my experiments on my own, but Bonnie and Zinnig did a few little jobs for me.
So he initiated us.
But we just still didn't know how to do it right and not blow ourselves up in the process.
And we used up a huge amount of saltpeter and sulfur.
By the way, the manuscript from that Hermes Trismegistos was our shopping list and price list for material from Kuttenberg.
Only we didn't know correct proportions. I looked up a few of my former fellow students and brought it up with them. And we found out that before us, some monk had already made the discovery.
Some fella called Black Bertold, and that he even started writing a book called
Feuerwerkbuch.
We couldn't believe our luck when we found out there's a copy of it right here at Trotsky.
And you know the rest.
It's a discovery that will change history. In the right hands, it can make miracles happen. All it takes is a spark, and a storm of fire will sweep away the old world order. It will wipe out stupidity and ignorance, once and for all.
And what will happen now?
As I said, we're about to have our last supper on our journey to satisfy our hunger for knowledge. A feast of smoke and fire. Black Bertold never finished his book, because he never had enough ingredients for his last great experiment. But now, thanks to you, we do. We can finally finish Bertold's work and finish his book. We'll see with our own eyes what a barrel of black powder can do. I hope you're as excited as I am.
Before we get started, there's something I want to know. This book, Feuerwerkbuch, what's written in it?
Everything you'd want to know about black powder. How to mix it in a proper ratio, how to store it, how to light it properly, and especially how to use it in warfare, because that's the most important part, after all.
Do you really need that much saltpeter?
We do. Saltpeter makes up almost 3/4 of the mixture. Not even all the cows in the region could produce enough for us once we really get started with manufacturing.
What is it you're going to do with this powder?
During wartime, like it is now, a flammable and explosive mixture like this has more uses than you can imagine. If we had a few big barrels of the stuff, we could demolish Trotsky if we wanted to. And maybe we will.
All of us here are truly passionate about the idea of a new world. And now it's within our grasp.
What is it you studied at the university?
I was supposed to become a preacher.
That fits you. Maybe you'd even be a good preacher.
Maybe I would. Maybe I wouldn't.
God has a path prepared for each of us. And each of us here decided not to follow it.
I was supposed to be a dyer. but I was too lazy to work 6 days a week and soak my hands in lye.
I was supposed to become a nun, but I didn't want to give up the booze and fellas.
And I've already told you everything. The world is what you make it.
How did a scholar and an alchemist become a thief?
Prague is a big city, and a poor student has no chance of getting a decent place to sleep or even something to eat. Learning to shop with 5 fingers was the first requirement for survival. We're all masters of our own destiny.
I've heard enough. Now I want to see that with my own eyes.
Let's do it then. Bonnie, is everything ready?
Indeed, it is. We can get started. Long live the beautiful new world.
Looks like it ain't working.
I'd say it works just fine.
This will change history.
What? I can't hear a thing. But I'd say it works just fine.
As long as you listen to me and keep the portion right, you won't fuck it up.
White ash.
Listen to you if my ears ever stop ringing.
Black powder? I'd never have expected that from Crazel.
Imagine, that monarch of ours is half deaf.
That dog of yours? What does that have to do with the gunpowder magazine?
Just that I was wondering that the explosions didn't bother him at all. At least he won't suffer here. And now I'm not surprised he was so unhappy with that bastard Vasarik.
You really led me on about the gunpowder magazine, didn't you? A golem made of dough, souls inside saltpeter, the secrets of light and shadow. That was all just empty talk, wasn't it?
Not exactly. It's all based on the real philosophy of the Jewish Kabbalah. I studied the writings of Bonaventura and Dietrich von Freiberg, but it was never in my interest to put their theories into practice. But they work brilliantly as a cover-up, don't you think?
I really thought you'd have a golem made from dough walking around the mill, or that I could become invisible.
Ah, but black powder is no less a miraculous creation.
So for the last time, Crazel, what now?
I'll do what I promised, and what will most likely be my fate. I'm going to gather together all the knowledge I've acquired and finish Black Berthold's book. I'll finish his opus.
Uh-huh. And what about me?
That's up to you, Henry. You're a free man. Lord Samin has no hold over you, and never did. You know, The inevitability of God's plan takes no interest in people like you and me. We'll always be little people, beneath it all.
That sounds somehow hopeful in a peculiar way, I'd say. Now I'm even happier about the great thing we've accomplished here.
The ideal conclusion, I'd say. Maybe it's time to carry sacks at a different mill. But if you're still interested in learning a bit more, drawing from the well of alchemical knowledge...
I know where to find you.
Indeed.
I'd like to learn...
Well, all right. For a few groschen, and I'll teach you what...
We've been through a lot together.
Have you not grown tired of all this? I've told you plenty already. And if I left something out, it was for a good reason.
Well, I know about the university, the alchemy, your desire to change the world. But I don't know anything about you as a person.
That's a question I'd like to know the answer to myself. To find yourself, and who you really are. Isn't that the only true meaning of life?
Crazel?
The fuse didn't catch immediately.
I told you there's no need to dip it in resin and wax. Better to use rushes, boiled in wine.
Very well, if you say so. We'll try rushes next time.
I'd also like to take a look at that book, Crazel.
In due time, Piney. In due time.
Look what I have for you. I'd like to learn something.
What would you like to know? And I was beginning to worry what that was. But it's just you. You silly doggy. What?
What is it you need?
You silly doggy.
Black powder? Well, now.
You didn't expect that, eh?
I'm not so stupid that I wouldn't realise you're not just milling wheat here.
Bollocks! You thought we was brewing the elixir of eternal life here, you blockhead! Anyways, I hope the miller gives us a bit of extra coin now things has finally worked out.
Ah, in the worst case, you can go back to licking the walls of pigsties.
But next time you'll be coming with me.
Take care and good night.
What is it you need?
That's bloody deep.
God bless you, sir.
At your service. What are you doing, lurking around without a light? Get a torch, or I'll put you in the stocks.
Wanker!
I've looked for him everywhere and he's not in the tavern.
Oh, that's a tough one. I wouldn't get my hopes up.
My humble respects.
Do you know when von Burgov plans to attack Nebukov?
I'm not a soothsayer. I don't know any more than you, Henry. I reckon he'll announce his plan to his vassals at the banquet.
What can we do in the meantime?
Wait? What else? Try to amuse ourselves? You can manage that by yourself, can't you? Come and pick me up this evening, before the banquet.
Hey, you're not allowed here. That's it. And next time, don't go creeping around where you don't belong.
No, and nor should you. Go and see the priest first. If he says it's all right, I'll be happy to help, friend.
You silly doggy.
You've come just at the right time.
Looks like we'll eat and drink our fill before going into battle, eh?
It'll be mostly a lot of pointless small talk, if you ask me.
You're not looking forward to the feast?
I'm fed up with this waiting. I'd rather set out right now and wring fuckers' necks one by one. And above all, I want to put that lying fraud from Nabokov in irons.
That makes two of us. We'll get him. Don't worry. I'm sure Von Burgov has good reasons for caution.
I hope so. And I'd rather get this messenger business off my back too.
Well, get back to enjoying life without the tiresome duties of a nobleman.
You bet. We'll live it up when we get back home. But now, let's go and hear what Sorotto has to say to us.
I'm hoping for some good drink and crispy roast meat while we listen.
Let's go then, before there's nothing but bones and empty pitchers left.
Lord Capon and his page. At last.
Good evening, friends. Join us, please, and sample what our kitchen has to offer. Wench, pour Lord Capon some wine.
We have excellent Hungarian wine, sir.
Thank you. I won't say no. I'll be glad to drink to our upcoming victory over that rabble from Nabokov. And perhaps to an alliance against other such saboteurs throughout the Kingdom of Bohemia?
Well said. Just what I like to hear. What do you say to that, Ulrich?
It is certainly gratifying to hear a young lord expressing such concern for our country's fate.
True. It is admirable that you are determined not to betray your Uncle Hanush's trust. Our agreement stands, of course. But I'd like to remind all of you here that politics is mainly about making the right compromises, not hasty decisions.
We have the same interests, Sorotto. We'll be happy to help you deal with those criminals at Nabokov. And let's hope that our cooperation doesn't end there. You know better than anyone how many similar bands plague our kingdom.
Well said. It seems Hanush and Rezig have an eye for capable and eloquent servants. As soon as we are finished with that rebel, I shall write a reply to your letter. But now to the business at hand, my friends. We discussed this long and hard, but we came to the conclusion that the best thing would be to catch them by surprise. And for that reason, we will set out for Nabokov at the crack of dawn tomorrow.
And we will string up the insolent bastard who commands the bandits from the nearest tree.
More wine, Lord Chamberlain?
No, thank you. The Lord Chamberlain needs a clear head. He will lead the assault on the fortress.
What? Sorry, sir. But did you say we'll be under Ulrich's command?
Who else? My captain is injured, and I am expecting an important visit. Unfortunately.
Aha. And may I know what the Lord Chamberlain's plan is?
Of course you may. It's nothing complicated. We'll pass through the Trotsky Gorge early in the morning and reach the fortress unobserved. A quick charge will get us over the palisade and we'll catch that rabble by surprise. They won't know what hit them. Ha ha!
I'm sorry, sir, but isn't that kind of frontal assault needlessly risky?
Risky? Peasants with pitchforks could handle that rabble. Have no fear, Lord Capon.
Oh, that wouldn't be my plan.
Sorry, sir, but I think my lord here has more experience of soldiering than your Chamberlain. He fought with valor during the conquest of Pribyslavitz and the siege of Talmberg, and I think he'd be more useful.
I have no doubt Lord Capon is very experienced for someone his age. But I'd rather entrust my forces to someone more mature. You're not offended, I hope. Ulrich.
Oh, perish the thought, sir.
It's thanks to the Lord Chamberlain that this castle is standing. I have complete faith in his abilities.
My friend, send your servant to the smithy for armor and to see
Catherine, sir.
To see Catherine for wine for the journey. We'll move out as soon as the sun rises. Be so kind and get me another pitcher of the Hungarian wine, will you?
As you wish. Just a moment, Lord Chamberlain.
I promise, sir, that this will be my last wine today. The next wine I drink will be to celebrate our victory.
Your health, then, gentlemen. Eat, drink, and be merry. But don't overdo it. Tomorrow, I expect you to display your knightly valor for our rightful and joint cause.
Anything else you need? Cat got your tongue, lad. Go and have fun.
I have a question for you, sir.
Certainly. What is it, Henry?
Would I be right in assuming nobody else knows about the content of our message yet?
Correct. And that is how it will stay, until I decide on my reply to Hush.
What about the League of Lords? Do you think you'll convince the other nobles as well?
Careful now, young man.
The war hurts everyone without exception. And that is why it has to stop. Everyone agrees on that. Each one of us has to consider what he can do for peace in the land. You can show what you can do tomorrow, when we settle scores with those bandits.
We'll make short work of them.
I'll try not to let you down, sir.
Certainly. We will talk tomorrow when it's over. I do not let capable men go unrewarded, Henry.
Junger Mann, komm her!
You must be that Henry from the...
Does the name Nikvard Libak ring a bell?
Yes, but I haven't seen him for a long time. What about him?
Nikvard is lying dead outside Trotsky Castle walls, where the guardhouse privies are. He apparently overestimated his strength while on his little excursion.
Are you serious? My God. I'll send someone there immediately.
Junger Mann, komm her!
You must be that Henry from the Lord of Lipa, eh? A strange lad.
Ja, aber sieh dich vor. I hear he handles Lord Capon's dirty work.
Well, it doesn't look too dangerous.
Junger Mann, komm her!
You don't have to
God
worry
bless
about those cutlery.
What's the discussion about, gentlemen?
We're just talking about the ambush on Lord von Bergoff's men.
Apparently, it was the same man who attacked your company by the pond.
Aye, no doubt about it. It's the same band of troublemakers.
Who got the better of you twice, eh?
Zweimal?
That's right. They say that at Nabokov, Lord Capon parleyed with someone pretending to be old Nabar. But in fact, it was none other than the leader of those disgraceful scoundrels.
Dann ist es ja kein Wunder that puffed-up Capon won't talk to us. He's afraid we'll make fun of him.
I'm sorry, sir, but Lord Capon did nothing wrong. It wasn't his fault.
Watch your tongue. You don't want Henry to take offense and fly off the handle again?
Ja, du hast recht. I went too far. If I've offended you, Henry, we can settle scores. I'm at your service. But if you'd rather try your luck, we can have a game of dice. That strikes me as a better option than going at each other with swords. Wie war das? Do you play dice, friend?
I understand. Let's play then. But I'm warning you, you'll lose your shirt.
We'll see about that, Bursche. I give no quarter.
Auf geht's. I'm very curious about you.
No dispute with the monastery have gone in end. Worse than the burgers will buy us all out one of these days. Someone should click their wings. Right! That pack of thieves are bribing him to get our knightly titles. Too right. We should have beaten the life out of them and taken their silver as well. Wretched curs.
So that's your plan, is
Even
it?
a fool gets lucky sometimes.
Here. Das
It
war's.
looks like you
You're
don't
up,
even
my
want
friend.
to play. Last time I was watching, a farmer lost his breeches and his boots here.
So, what's it all about, Wilson?
Sin, my lady. The worst sin of all. I heard that the university...
I hope you don't
have a
throw
bit
like
of
that
sense
again.
and count the dice.
Not just any Englishman. A heretic. Wycliffe is a heretic. There's no doubt about it. His books seek to overturn divine order. Though it seems that even our learned scholars aren't sure about that.
And the background chapel hosts a creature called...
Jan Hus.
I hope it doesn't turn sour.
So confusion. And worse still, some people...
Good. I'm doing well.
It said that even King Wenceslas is well disposed towards you.
And I hear tell that even Queen Sophia
Sure.
used to hear her spy.
That grammar shows the world needs strict order. Otherwise it will be turned upside
Here.
down by sinful hedonism.
Oh my
I knew
God!
it'd be
9!
good. I said as much. Maybe I'd prefer a short game to a...
That was a good game, friends.
Aye. Every game is good when you fatten your purse.
Lady Fortune gives and takes by turns. A few groschen, one way or the other, won't ruin me.
But you're still in debt to me, though.
Well, that's true. I apologize for what I said. I wasn't being serious. No offense, friend. I just wanted a bit of fun.
Fluffing around in the air.
So, it wasn't a fish?
No, just chicken stuff.
I'd like to have a bit of discourse with you, young man.
This is Henry, Lord Capon's servant.
I won't show you where wine makes me go hard for
Was it his lord who almost came to an undignified end?
Yes, he was almost hanged. But thankfully, it was all cleared up in time.
Truly remarkable.
What's wrong, Henry? Am I invisible or something?
You must be Henry.
I'm not local, so I'd like to introduce myself, gentlemen.
We're not local either, but we've already heard of you. Aye. Mainly about your brushes with the law. Truly amusing escapades, if what they say is true.
I don't know what folk have been saying. They like to exaggerate. Let's talk about something else.
Of course, no offense intended. We're glad to meet you.
My name is Oldbrown, and this is Yeshek of Boar.
Any news, gentlemen?
Yes. We were just talking about the finger of God.
What's that? Some book?
Nobody knows, but the name is truly odd, isn't it? Apparently Sir Otto paid a fortune for this finger in Prague.
Sounds like some holy relic, doesn't it?
Aye. But it occurred to Albram that it might be some new castle bell.
I heard him telling Chaplain Nicodemus that the castle needs a new bell. Throwing around coin like that when there's a war on is a sin, I tell you.
But our Sir Otto has deep pockets, and the war hasn't changed that. Quite the opposite, if anything.
Aye, once you get involved in politics in Prague, the coin comes rolling in. You and Lord Capon are here on political business, aren't you? You're envoys of Hanush of Lipa, and the king's favourite, Radzig Kobyla, right?
Yes. We brought a message from Sir Hanush and Margrave Jobst. Now we're just waiting for Lord Bornbergov's reply.
What does Margrave Jobst want?
To end the war, I think.
Well, well. Jobst himself wants to make peace with the League of Lords.
Aye. And free our king from captivity.
Interesting. Yet it was him who was at war with Wenceslaus just a year ago.
What about tomorrow? Will you join us in the attack?
Of course. I've brought so many men we could take the Barkov on our own.
I hope you'll leave room for us as well, Yeshek.
Have no fear. The main thing is that old Lord Nebag doesn't drop dead before we can save him.
Well, if we burn down his castle, he's bound to have a fit.
I think Sir Yaramir will be pleased if we get rid of those scoundrels without needless damage.
Aye, aye. Old Yaramir was always terribly proud of that little castle of his. He toiled all his life to build it.
Yet it's nothing more than a hut on a rock.
All the better for us. We'll take the hood in a trice and then relieve Yaramir of a few barrels from his cellar.
I can't wait to see the look on his face when he finds out how much the rescue will cost him.
He'll be happy to give us the wine. Better to be alive and well than cold for eternity.
You got a moment? I've heard you're a local hero.
This is Henry, my lady.
I'd like to have a bit of discourse with you, young man.
My boy, even the sparrows in the eaves are serenading your escapades.
I'm sorry, I don't know your name, my lady.
This is Johanka of Zhernov, Henry.
Pleased to meet you.
I know who you are. My companions here talked about you. And the stories were somewhat madcap, if you don't mind me saying so.
Nothing more than a couple of silly misunderstandings.
The pond, the stocks, and the gallows. Quite a nice series of misunderstandings, if you ask me.
Your life was on the line more than once, young man.
You're right, Father. And not just my life, Lord Capon's as well.
Well, that sounds interesting. Won't you tell me about it? I'd love to hear about adventures right from their hero himself.
I'll be glad to tell you my story. Where to begin?
The best place to begin is at the beginning, isn't it?
You're right, of course. That would be best. It all began one lovely day when we'd been on the road for ages. It's a long way from our home in Ratai. So we made camp by a pond to bathe a bit before presenting ourselves to the local lord. We didn't have time for that, because a band of cutthroats suddenly attacked us. They killed without mercy, and our men had no chance against them. We had no choice but to jump into the water and swim for our lives. I still don't know how I didn't drown. I can't swim, you see.
Truly divine intervention, my son. God clearly wanted you to be saved.
Truly shocking and terrifying. Tell me, what awful thing happened next?
What can I say? Nothing much apart from the fact they almost stuck me like a pig.
No doubt, but that's just what interests me.
We were saved by a good-hearted old woman. Later, we got involved in a tavern brawl. Well, the brawl was started by my Lord Capon, actually. Manual labor would have been too humiliating for him, you see. Even more humiliating than having the local guards pour, slops over us, it would seem.
No, that is truly awful.
But it's true. Everyone thought we were stinking vagabonds, which led to a whole misunderstanding.
Bailiff Thrush put them in the stocks.
Yeah, like I said, they took us for ragamuffins.
Fair enough. But out with it now. Why did they punish you?
That was nothing, really. But the bailiff didn't see it that way. Probably because it was his son who got a thrashing.
Excellent. I think people are wrong about you. You're a sincere and brave young man, Henry.
And rather entertaining company.
Yes, I agree. It's a pity my good friend didn't hear your story. She would have been very interested.
Who do you mean, my lady?
Unfortunately, she just went outside to get some fresh air. But the easiest way to put that right would be to go and find her. Would you escort me, Sir Knight?
Certainly, my lady. I'd be honored to escort you.
Excellent. I'm sure the learned gentlemen will excuse us, won't they? It's a lovely night outside, and it's a little stuffy in here, so a walk will do me good. Come on. A lovely summer night. It was horribly stuffy inside. Thanks for rescuing me from the claws of those two old vultures.
Yeah, of course. But I thought...
I know what you thought. Some men are terribly slow-witted, that's all. Like my late husband. But maybe I underestimated you, eh?
I don't think you're the kind to fall for pretty poems.
Well, well. Finally an exception that proves the rule.
I'm no good at poetry anyway.
That's enough talk, silly. Embrace me. Let's enjoy this night. It wasn't made for sleep, after all.
Greetings. What do you need?
I'm supposed to collect armor and a sword for my lord.
Aye, but that horse is already bolted. I'm clean out.
What? You don't have anything?
Lots of other knights were here. You should have come earlier, that's all.
But Chamberlain Ulrich himself sent me here.
I'll be happy to give you what's left, but it ain't the best. I reckon you'll have to do the mending and sharpening yourself.
As you wish. But I'll go and tell the Chamberlain. You think he's going to get his fingers burnt because of you?
What? Ulrich is my friend.
And I have friends among the local nobles who the Chamberlain surely won't want to annoy.
All right. Maybe I was a bit hasty. I'll find you something better. I still have this left. Take it. It's yours.
See now? Where there's a will, there's a way. Oh, Sacra. If you want something done, you have to do it yourself.
What would you like?
Show me your ware.
Nothing to your liking, sir?
What's the matter, blacksmith's boy? Stop farting around.
Where can I find the serving girl with the wine?
I don't know. Ask Manietta. She's the cook.
Greetings to you.
Excuse me, have you seen Catherine?
What do you want her for?
I'm supposed to get some wine from her for Lord Capon, but I can't find her.
For that handsome young man? I'll go and get her, and you can forget about that ninny Catherine.
Well, the thing is, they told me...
Forget it! God knows where that cow's got to again. I ain't seen her all evening. But don't worry. I'll be happy to give you wine for Lord Capon myself. I'd just like to ask if you could open the spice chest for me in the meantime. The lock got stuck again and won't open for love nor money.
Sure, I'll take a look at it. It won't be a problem.
Thanks. Farewell, my friend.
What's that sound?
Take care then.
I've opened the spice chest for you.
Really? That's clever of you. I couldn't budget. I won't bother locking it again from now on. If someone pinches something, I'll blame Osina and his rubbish locks. Here's some Hungarian wine for your journey. And give my regards to Lord Capon. May the Holy Virgin watch over you in battle. Take care then.
What's the matter, blacksmith's boy? Stop farting around.